All right, Charlotte Rink Building Initiative. It is Monday, May 15th, halfway through May 2023. A few updates, hard to believe. 2 weeks ago, we were talking about all these events coming up, and most of them are in the past. So we'll do a quick recap of all of those. We have some fun things upcoming in our future, and then just a couple updates and highlights of things that I want to talk about and just mention tonight. So should be short and sweet tonight. I guess the first thing I want to mention is all this buzz. I can't count how many times I've been tagged in posts or forwarded information about this Lake Norman hockey group. So I feel like I need to knock that out right at the top of the connection here. I know the person who's running it, his name is Nick Henderson. I believe it's his stepson, Brady Rogers, has played in the CSHL in the past as a goalie. And, I was concerned at first, and when I saw it, that maybe he had a poor experience in CSHL or was bitter about something, wanted to start his own thing. And he said, no, he had a good experience with CSHL. He's just, he's more focused on building the roller scene, which I appreciate as a former roller and still current roller member. And just he's a doer. He just wants to provide more access to the game and build up as much hockey as possible. So he and I have connected over the past couple of weeks. We're on the same page. We have the same goals with just more infrastructure for the game of hockey. And I don't see him as a competitor. And even if they kind of are, I think that's okay. And that's maybe a good thing too. And it's ironic that they're holding their first season and their breakout during the time that we have our hiatus over the summer at Waymer up in Huntersville. So there will be hockey. I think they're still registering roller teams and even deck. I think they're doing deck youth. I'm not sure about deck adult, but they're providing all forms of hockey. They've partnered with a local business up there called Level Up Sports, I want to say. And is it Mooresville? I'm not 100% certain about that, but somewhere up there. And I'm happy. I'm elated. I'm pumped that there's more hockey and they found a partner up there. Dimensions are a little awkward. It's like 100 by 35, so a little bit narrow, but he's posted several videos on their Facebook account. And if you haven't joined it, go ahead and go check them out. About the facility there, it's tile indoor. They don't have to worry about weather, and they can play with the puck up there and or a ball. Sounds like they're going to do ball stuff as well for deck hockey. So cool things happening. We talked about eventually maybe joining forces in the future and or a little rivalry and playing tournaments against each other. And I would eventually be interested at some point about approaching the business owner up there that owns the warehouse with all the sports facility and just seeing if she's willing to do anything else as far as like renovating or building out more facilities for hockey people. From what I understand, she's somewhat limited with what they got going on there and their space dimensions, but there's all sorts of sports. It's all indoor sport court tile. I guess her business was hurting a little bit because of COVID and not a lot of people came back. So they are in need of people and maybe are willing to make accommodations depending on what we're asking for, but it might be worth our time looking into it at some points. So exciting stuff, and that kind of rolls into our Waymer Park update. Before I get into that, Phil, and any mention of that, knowing that you're a roller guy, is that it's a little far away from you, but good to see you on the other side of town. More roller being done.
I mean, I guess you're right. I guess at the end of the day, it's good to have something coming. I think it does hurt the CSHL a little bit in South Charlotte that they're picking up right where we're letting off, to your point. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, man. I wish them the best of luck. I think if anything, let these places kind of demonstrate the demand, right? And so the YMCA we should make sure the YMCA knows about this, like truly.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
They know about it, and Andrew should be viewing it as more of a competitor than really us. So
right, yeah,
or just to continue that, hey, this is worth investing time and resources.
Yep, for sure. And speaking of which, our update for Waymer Park. So there was just a little bit of a snafu with the proposal being sent without taxes. So Huntersville, whatever status they have as a town or whatever, needed the proposal a certain way. So that was resent today. And we're just waiting for official word on the sign off and the green light for that project to start. So that's awesome. Maybe like to throw up the bat signal. I know the key players I could probably reach out to proactively, Sprague and Rich Conlan, who are on this distribution, but I think Huntersville is still looking for a surface vendor, I guess it would be. So somebody who can do the tennis court surface and the basketball court. Apparently it's a very high demand trade. Maybe that's the pickleball people, I don't know, but there's not a lot of companies out there that have that are not backed up for months and months and months, and they're still looking for that particular vendor to handle that project. Nothing about the asphalt or the concrete after, they're putting down like an overlay on top of the basketball court to make it flat. And then before all the hockey stuff can start, they're looking to resurface that so it's nice and smooth for us, like the tennis court surface. So they're still looking for a vendor. If anybody knows people, let me know, and I'll connect them with the Huntersville people. But like I said, so the matter of days, if not hours away from hopefully that getting approved. And I mentioned this before, it's almost time to go public with this, that Huntersville is paying about, I don't know, 85–90% of the project. And CSHL has opted into a section of the rink that will include a bench, timekeepers area, penalty box, make it a little bit more official. And the total of that cost comes to somewhere in the neighborhood of like $8,000. So we may shoot out a calling to help raise that money. We have funds to go towards that, but we've never raised anything in direct accordance to something that we're excited about. So that might be a possibility in these next couple of weeks here that we get the word out about that. But it's going in the right direction, and hopefully by the next time we connect here, not only will we have official confirmation that that project is approved, but maybe even started upon. I don't want to say that though. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We got Memorial Day upcoming here. Maybe it's not going to start before then, but high hopes. So good stuff there. So let's hit the successful events we had. And it's hard to believe this was less than 2 weeks ago. So our youth tournament was May 6th, Saturday, May 6th. We had just enough for 3 teams, and the goalies battled the elements. We were a little bit short, and when I say elements, it's very hot out, but we were able to capture a whole bunch of that with our GoPros and posted it on YouTube. I think it has over 100 views at this point, and just a really exciting event to see. We had a lot of ice kids come out, but it was for ages 11 and up. I think we let maybe 5 or 6 10-year-olds play, and then there was an 8-year-old that did very well, scored a whole bunch of points, had some goals and assists. So shout out to Kenny Roker there. But that was a fun event, and I think the kids had a blast. And the reason I know that is because a good portion of them, high percentage of them, signed up for league, which started the following Saturday, which was this past Saturday.
Right.
So, yep, and we'll couple that with NBHL exhibition was that same day. So just a couple hours after that, the Queen City Crowns and the Charlotte Rise of the National Ball Hockey League squared off. And Phil, did you catch that whole event, or were you there for the end of it?
Yeah, I got there right at the ball drop. It was a lot of fun. Everybody looked cool. Chubby was hanging out.
Yeah.
And you guys look great. I saw you get on the scoreboard there, Josh. Were you the first goal even?
I assisted on it. I think I had a couple assists in the game. Yeah. So funny story. We've ordered Chubby to a couple of our events in the past. I think I was targeting him for, I think it was our end of season event, which is a couple weeks prior from our winter league that was wrapping up like in April, and he couldn't make that. And so I remember, maybe he could make NBHL. So I just asked them if he could. And this was like a month before the event. So I kind of forgot about it. And I saw him show up. I was like, oh, he's dropping the ball. He's doing the opening face-off there. So sure enough, we brought him out, and he did it. And then I saw him like hanging around, like talking to parents after.
Yeah, he was taking photos and everything. He was.
Yeah.
I mean, it must have been just like a quick 30 minutes he was there, in and out. But he made. I mean, it was like perfect timing though.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So fun event. Good experience for both teams. There was a number of people who got that high level experience. We had our jerseys on and all that good stuff to get ready for our season, which we'll tease out here too. So we're less than a week away from officially opening down in Apex at XL Sports Arena Sunday, May 21st. So we're just a couple of days away from that, and the teams are gearing up, and we're excited about that. So just a couple of days away. But yeah, successful events, and then even there's more. So Beach Fest, we had Beach Fest over this past Friday night and Saturday, and had a blast. Phil was out there for covering a shift on Saturday morning, I believe, and I must have missed you because I showed up around probably like 2 o'clock and was there the rest of the day. And I mean, we must have handed out 500 flyers for family night, which we'll talk about in a second, and just gave away a bunch of CSHL swag and had mini nets out there, and kids were shooting on the nets and getting excited about hockey. And it was just a great event. It was awesome. Several people like, oh, hockey's here, and like, this is cool. And other people like, oh, I've heard about you guys, tell me more about it. So just exposure, I think, is the biggest thing in getting our name out there. And I think that mission was definitely accomplished, because we just had a swarm of people at the booth like almost the whole time there. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was my experience. I mean, people had a lot of fun. I think we were one of those booths that other booths looked at and were like, we wish we had that level of activity and engagement. So it was great. I think it was a lot of fun. And I was surprised at the number of adults that were, well, I should say that I wasn't surprised at all. The number of adults that were kind of getting out there and showing some interest. I used to play type of comments. So
Right.
it was real cool. Really cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. And yeah, those booths, there's like people selling things next to us, and I was like, like I could hear them like talking to people going by, and people are just like, well, just let me get to the hockey tent. I just want to get to just play hockey there. I don't care if my roof is energy efficient. And so that's not all. So we kicked off our youth summer league that same Saturday, and pretty awesome stuff in that, probably since I closed the registration 2 weeks ago, we usually cut it off because we got to order jerseys, and I don't want kids to register after, because then they'll be without jerseys for the season. But we learned to order extras. Anyways, we had like, I think 13 kids register in the last 2 weeks leading up to the season, which is fine. It's a good problem to have. I'm just like, how are you getting the registration? And there's nowhere to be found on the website, but all these ice hockey guys were like forwarding it around and like, hurry up and sign up. And we ended up, I say ended up because there's people still registering. We got another one yesterday. 47 kids registered for the season, which is that rivals like our Huntersville numbers. And this is by far the most kids that have registered at Ballantyne, by more than double probably. So we were able to make 2 very large teams, and we have since split those teams into different age groups. So we have 4 teams now, and 2 separate jersey types, so that, if ever, we're short on numbers, some of the other kids can fill in to make even numbers. So it was awesome. We battled a little bit of raindrops, so we sided up some of those that Saturday morning. We did a full intro and announced the kids over some music with the speaker, and they were all sitting on the blue lines, and it was just awesome. We had the first game was the little guys in the Mustang division between ages 6 and 10, and the other guys were 10 to 13 years old, and just good hockey all the way around. It's fun to see. We captured those on GoPros too, and just posted that to YouTube just yesterday, so that those are up there as well. But huge success, and some good growth happening here, even in the summer, right? Like summer would be like the last season that I would think we'd get a whole bunch of hockey players out there, but maybe that's why, because most of them are off right now.
Are you asking people to sign up or register for family night, or are we just hoping people put on there?
Yep, no, I have the flyer. I'm going to share that in just a second here. The last successful event I wanted to just hit on was our adult rec league for deck. Also opened up Saturday. A lot of shit happened Saturday. 4 full teams. We went with a expanded roster size from our Waymer Park regulation. So we had like 12 or 13 runners per team, and it was hot out there, but that was the value of having a bigger roster size. We had a lot of fun out there, and some good games out there. Went very well. And then I guess one more thing. So roller, I know there's a lot of roller people and interest there. Season was successful. I'm still working out a championship day. I guess there's a lot of travel happening, and maybe the first week of June is when we're looking to finalize that season. But we're continuing pickups. It's starting to pick up on Wednesdays. We've officially bumped the start time from 5:30, which is nearly impossible for people to get to a 6:30 start time, which is still difficult, but a little bit more doable. And giving Andrew Marinich at the Y a whole bunch of feedback with why, numbers are still a little bit low. Obviously, the package of buying 10 at once is a little bit of a nuisance, especially at $15 a pop. So people hesitating to drop $150 to play pickup hockey. It's almost as much as ice hockey. There's reasons that the Y is doing it, that they comply with systems and processes and all that, and they're treating it like another sport. It's becoming pretty clear that we're somewhat unique, and we're trying to get them to adjust their processes to accommodate a single pickup or some other form of registration that's a little bit easier to walk through the process. So it's a work in progress. Thank you for bearing with us on that. And we know how difficult it is, and we're still working on it.
So Josh, I think, how is the Y doing any promotion of it themselves? Like I'm just like flabbergasted that they have they want to like beat us over the head, or we have to come to them, explain why our numbers are low. And it's like, well, we're only half of the, we're actually a tiny sliver of the equation. Like they're the ones with the presence and the emails and active members. And I mean, it's like, I don't understand why we're not getting a little bit more help, because it would help them too. And I mean,
Yeah.
Andrew's role, and this is his background, you'd think he, the light would go on. It's just, I mean, but anyway, I'll say, like, money, yeah, it sucks to spend 150, but I think the cumbersome app process that Haley had to, I mean, like, listen, maybe they can't fix that. We'll take one win at a time. I'd rather have promotion than fix that, although that's the biggest barrier. That is it's the most, I don't know how they came up, and I know we're involved, and there's 4 different I mean,
yeah.
And it's also mislabeled. My body app says 125.
Oh, really?
So I mean, I'm anticipating I'm spending 150, but yeah, there's inconsistencies across the board. So, but that was extraordinarily painful.
Yeah. There might be people watching this that don't know. So we have the registration up on our website just because we want people to know that we're offering it, but there's no utility to that other than to direct you to their website to register. So they require you to register on their Mind Body app, which is connected to whatever, some sort of back office thing with how they keep track of stuff. Like if you were to sign up for a course or a class inside the Y, like a CrossFit or whatever they do, you'd have to do that. So that was their thought, was like, oh, we'll just lump it in with something we already have, but it's not going great. It's very difficult. You got to buy a package, and then you got to go somewhere else to like sign up for it and tell people that you're coming. I will say progress in that Haley has officially gone through all the certification processes, and she's officially a Y employee and now the Y representative. So that was a big thing too, with like liability and making sure that there was somebody from the Y out there keeping an eye on things and making sure that, emergencies were handled. So she's officially that person now, and that might lift some of the other prohibitive things that they're waiting for to make this a little bit more smooth of a process. But I digress. It's still a bit cumbersome, and I think there will be progress that's made. We're just in that sharing and feedback part right now, which is sometimes tough to go through. But yeah, to your point, I think I'm sorry, just a note about Andrew. I think Andrew's just a little bit overwhelmed with, he's not just handling hockey, he's the director of sports. I'm not making excuses for him, and I wonder what he might say if he were on here, but he's overseen soccer and this and that at 3 different YMCA locations. So it's not like he's just over the hockey. He's not just a hockey guy, but you're right. I understand why they don't promote it more, or like are more interested in working with us, because they hold the keys. They could definitely push more people out there, more membership.
Well, it's like, it's starting to look, it's almost like barely working with it. It's just like working for yourself at this point. And to me, it's not like it has to be anything else. It's, here are the upcoming seasons, and you just add a row and another link. I mean, we can figure out the back end mechanics, but anyway, that's cool. It's good for Haley. She is she's a great presence out there.
Yeah. Yep. So progress heading in the right direction. I was gonna say one other thing. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, potential to expand, maybe I don't know how much different or new things we're going to do with roller over the summer, but we are still planning on bringing league back once fall hits. So we'll talk more about that as we get closer to that. And then kind of a good segue, one thing that the Y is helping us to promote is CSHL Family Night. So Andrew asked me to send him this flyer so they can put it in the newsletter. So we may get some registrations out from the YMCA. This is a good first test to see how much they can leverage with their marketing efforts. So just flashing it up on the screen here. It's Tuesday, May 23rd, a week from tomorrow night. Asking everybody to register, even though it is a free event, just so we know how many people are coming. Like I said, we handed out probably 500 of these flyers at Beach Fest. I don't know if we get 1% to come, that's still a significant number of people. I think we're going to get a whole bunch of people out there. There's a lot of people who express interest in it. It's for people of all ages, kids and adults. We're going to try to keep the chaos organized as possible. And I don't know, we have 2 nets in the shed. We might pull 4 nets out and just have a couple balls going, and just like maybe little kids get one of the nets, and whenever the ball comes close, they all try to score a goal. And like, we'll figure out some fun mini games to play out there. But family night Tuesday, a week from tomorrow, 6:30 to 8 o'clock. Hopefully anybody watching this can make it and forward this on, tell other people about it. Excited about it. I'll attach this to the update tonight so people can forward it around. And making good progress. So I've teased this out the last couple board meetings, or the last couple Rink building initiative meetings as well, that there's some new board positions being released. We had so much to talk about last board meeting that we didn't get to it. So we scheduled a special session that's happening Wednesday night to only talk about these positions. There's just some final details with how we're going to release the news. We got to post descriptions of each position, how people can apply for it and interview for it with the board members, and then what the tenure looks like, how people can like challenge each other if another person wants to serve. Are they 1-year terms? Are they, what do they actually look like? So we just got to make our way through all those details. But some of the positions that we had mentioned are youth ambassador, so somebody handling and a representative from the youth program, the CSHL rules committee leader who like oversees the rule changes between leagues and holds committee meetings. They're already doing a lot for the organization, so might they get a board vote? We're talking about like maybe these are board voting positions, so we can go from 5 people on the board with votes to possibly 9, 10, or 11. Which would be, it'd be a huge change. It's something that hasn't been around since our inception. However, more hands, more people doing things could mean a lot for the growth, and a lot more organization. There's just a lot of people doing a lot of things right now. So more people doing less things might be good. Third one would be parent or community member, so somebody from the youth program or somebody else, anybody else who wants to get involved with our program. RollerHockey Leader, definitely need a representative if we're going to continue running roller events. And then some sort of social media website manager, overseer, overlooker. Right now we're just posting. Whoever can get to the Facebook page, and there's so much to keep up with at this point. So these are all good problems to have. But I think at a certain point we'll look back in a couple months, be like, how did we operate without all these positions? So hopefully they get filled. Hopefully there's interest. Hopefully people want to serve. Because we also have somewhat of a concern coming up that there's board positions turning over, mine included. The CSHL board positions, for those who don't know, are 2-year terms, and once they're up, we're supposed to step back and resign according to the bylaws. And we have 2, maybe 3 of those of the 5 that are overturning before the end of this year. So just to get the word out, we're going to be blasting out news about these other positions, and hopefully people are interested in sign up for them. Oh, hard to believe how far it's come. And most of these updates aren't about a rink, right? But I guess it's all necessary stuff to continue to build. And then again, I think it's just meeting the right people, some deeper pockets, people seeing what we're up to and what we're working with as far as facilities and where we're playing, and to see the potential of like, oh yeah, like I want to get involved. I want to leave a legacy. I want to help build something where tournaments could be held. That's still the goal. I know we don't talk about that a lot, or that's not at least a lot of our subject matter time when we do these connections, but at a certain point in the near future, hopefully it picks up more and more of our conversation of some actual logistics for how that's actually going to happen, who might be interested, how we get the word out to people with deeper pockets. It's all in the purview once things calm down a little bit here from all the chaos that's happening in the spring and summer. So in due time over these next couple months for sure. And with that being said, I think that's pretty much my updates tonight. I'm not sure how much, I'm sure I missed stuff. I always do, but it's a lot to cover in a short amount of time. Phil, can you think of anything else? Anything else you might want to know about? Anything else I forgot?
No.
Oh, you went on mute. We couldn't hear you there.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yep, you just came back.
the last moment or two there. I had a call.
Okay.
A lot of editing. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so nothing else? Anything else you can think of?
No, I'm sorry, nothing here.
Okay. No, I'm okay with that.
Background noise here.
It's all good. I think we can cut it here because we got a game 7 tonight. You got a dog in the fight? Interested? You're gonna be watching?
Let's go Kraken. I think that would be very interesting for the NHL to have the 2 newest teams in the WCF. I think that would be interesting. And there's obviously some Hurricane storylines with the Kraken.
Yeah, I heard somebody call the Eastern Conference Finals the Southeastern Conference Finals. I thought that was pretty cool. Florida and Carolina.
Yeah, right. Non-traditional markets too. I mean, this is actually that interesting storylines abound there for the NHL and the growth of hockey in general.
Yeah, it could be Carolina, Florida, Seattle, and Las Vegas, right? That's crazy.
That's nuts, man. Think about that. It's nuts.
Wow. Yeah. Interesting. It's been entertaining. There's been some good hockey.
It really has been. Yeah, some of these high-scoring affairs. I didn't catch much of the Vegas series, but I did watch the one where I think it must have been game 2 where the Oilers just worked them like up and down the ice all game long, and I just couldn't. How was Vegas ever going to come back? And then you blink and they're 4-1 series over.
Right. Yeah.
Good hockey.
McDavid's fun to watch, but Vegas took it to him. Crazy.
I mean, they never stop scoring. I feel like if they even just got average goaltending, they could just they never stop. What Draisaitl had 14, 15 goals, like 6-7 games into the playoffs or something crazy.
Insane.
Oh my gosh, it doesn't stop. So anyway, good stuff, Josh. I know you got a ton on your plate with all this, man, but it's this is really interesting to watch now about a year plus in.
Yeah. I love it. I was mentioning to somebody the other day, I was like, it'd be nice to have a break and like to step away. And I was like, well, if I had the space, what would I be doing with it? I was like, well, hockey stuff. But yeah, I'm doing what I would do with the space anyway. So I'm grateful.
Right. Be volunteering for the organization.
Yeah, I'm grateful for all that's happening, and it's a lot, but we love it all, and it's all our favorite stuff. It's all hockey stuff. So and I got some kind words from a parent actually just today about how quickly we respond and that we're receptive to their ideas. And it felt good to have other people notice that. So we appreciate those messages out there. Thank you, everybody.
Awesome.
Yep. But yeah, we'll cut it. Thank you, Phil. We'll see you in a couple of weeks, and hopefully we'll have some more good updates when we roll around there.
Sounds good, man. Have a great night there.
All right. Thanks. You too. Bye.